Night from Washington.
WPSD Local 6, your breaking news and weather authority. This is Local 6 at 6.
Well, today we got our first sight of snow for the season all across the Local 6 area.
That snow started early in the morning in most places, causing plenty of travel delays for morning commutes. This is footage from downtown Paducah as the snow was falling this morning. Really a gorgeous sight to see in our beautiful downtown.
And here's some footage around that same time on Alban Barkley. As you can see, the snow covered the road, causing many to take it slow while out and about. Later in the day, we saw some things clear up a bit in some other roads around town. Now that the snow has stopped falling for most of our area, our attention turns to the bitter cold temperatures moving in.
We're still under a weather authority alert as we head into the overnight hours. For the latest, we start tonight with meteorologist Noah Bergrand. Okay, Noah, how cold will we get?
Jen, tonight we're going to be down in the single digits for the air temperature. When you factor that slight breeze, the wind chill is going to be in the single digits below zero. Snow today really light and fluffy as we discussed yesterday. It's kind of powdery, unusual for our area. Now you can kind of just blow it if you have a leaf blower probably on your driveway. But I got some really cool photos to show you. Let me take a look at these. We'll put them on full screen for you of some photos of the snowflakes. These are what are called beautiful dendrites. They're the most rarest photogenic type of snowflake, and they only form in very specific occasions. The temperature in the clouds must be specifically in a certain range. You see that beautiful dendrite there on the right of your screen. This was from West Paducah and Lauren. Also, these photos here, this is what's called a stellar plate. This is the second most beautiful and rare type of snowflake. This forms when the humidity is a little lower in the clouds. If you go ahead and take a look at this chart I'm about to show you, where I circled in pink, those are the types of snowflakes that form, which the bottom axis shows you the temperature, the left side the humidity. So to get the type of snow we had today in the clouds, it has to be very, very humid. And on the bottom, the temperature to get these beautiful dendrites has to be between 5 degrees Fahrenheit and about minus 15 degrees Fahrenheit, and only between that range, and there has to be a lot of lift in that range. And that's why we got those beautiful 6-branch snowflakes that Laura got some beautiful photos with her camera. Here's some snow totals today. We got over 5 inches in parts of Marshall and Graves. Jacob Woods got a report of over 5 in Graves. Also, you see there Justin Holland, our great weather observer, the official one in Callaway County, 4 inches in Murray. Totals did vary quite a bit, though, in Illinois, actually less than an inch near Carterville and Carbondale. But those are some of the top reports we got in across West Kentucky. Again, y'all, please be careful. It's going to be really icy. I don't want you to get caught off guard. Even things that melted or have been treated will refreeze because of how cold it's going to be. We'll talk more about your forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, Noah, thank you. Happening now with the cold temperatures and snow, cleanup efforts in Mayfield have stopped for the day.
Contractors and volunteers are pausing until the snow clears to continue with cleanup. Local 6's Kaylee Anderson joins us now. So, Kaylee, what did it look like downtown?
It was a snowy and quiet day. There wasn't much movement or cleanup happening. With snow covering roads and equipment, it's difficult for contractors who are helping with the demolition process. Snow blanketed what's left of homes and businesses. The distribution center at the Mayfield-Graves County Fairgrounds was also closed. While the streets were empty, there is still help for tornado victims. It's on a call-by-call basis for warming centers and emergency supplies. Keith Todd with the Mayfield-Graves County Emergency Operations Center says there are still resources available.
If there's something that, for instance, that you're completely out of, they'll put together a box and hopefully be able to deliver it to most of the locations here in Mayfield-Graves County.
Anyone needing emergency supplies can call the Tornado Information Hotline at 270-727-5114. The distribution center is expected to be back open tomorrow if the weather improves. Todd?
Kelly, thanks. There are a few churches on standby as a warming center. If people need a place to stay, you can call Red Cross at the number on your screen, 502-871-1498.
And Todd, a warming center in Paducah is expected to see some of their highest numbers tonight as temperatures reach their lowest points. Local 6's Holly Brantley is live at Washington Street Missionary Baptist Church. Holly, how are people in need getting to the shelter?
They walk, they bike, they save enough for a bus pass, and they say it is worth it. You can see they've got a warm place to sleep here. Also over here in the kitchen, a warm meal to eat. Now there's already about 7 people here still checking in, and they tell me they are so thankful.
I'm used to it.
Used to it. That's how William Neal describes living on the streets for the past 5 years. We caught up with him at Community Kitchen, warming up on a cold day with a free bowl of chicken noodle soup.
Great bunch of people. Anytime, if you're homeless, whatever you're going through, there's people there that will talk to you.
Later, he plans to walk to Washington Street Missionary Baptist Church, where he will spend the night. The doors open for the church's warming center on nights when the temperature dips below 40 degrees.
Warm bed to sleep in, a bite to eat. Great atmosphere. I love it. Love them very much.
It means the world.
Pastor Ronaldo Henderson says guests check in and get a COVID test. Then they are able to shower, get a hot meal, and sleep in a warm bed. They can house as many as 25, but he says many more may be in need and have issues getting to the center.
Most are walking and some have bikes. And of course the police have actually brought a few here.
You don't have to be homeless to stay here. The center is open to those who may simply be down on their luck.
We don't ask for it, but sometimes our residents feel the need to say, hey, look, we really appreciate this. You just don't know how much this has to be able to lay down in a warm place, in a dry place, to get a good meal.
As for William Neal, he says he wouldn't know what to do without the generosity of the volunteers.
It means the world to me. It means that someone cares.
Now, while I was out today, I did talk to several people who were trying to get here tonight. Now, it makes it even harder with the roads the way they are, but transportation is an issue. It's a need volunteers are trying to meet, and they do need more volunteers here. Live in Paducah, Holly Brantley, WPSD Local 6.
Holly, thank you. Doors open at 5:30, and guests must be inside by 10 p.m. They leave after breakfast at 8:30 a.m. If you need help or want to reach out, contact Washington Street Missionary Baptist Church. Their number is 270-442-8033, and they're located at 721 Washington Street.
COVID-19 news now. Yet again today, Kentucky shattered COVID-19 case and positivity rate records. It's the third consecutive day the state's done so. In total, more than 9,800 new people tested positive. Nearly a quarter of all tests being administered came back positive, a rate of 23.67%. In addition to the daily records, the weekly records are expected to be broken too. So far this week, more than 29,000 infections have been discovered. At this point last week, the number was at 18,500. Last week was double the number reported the week before, and the second highest week ever, which projects us to break the record for weekly cases. If we keep going at this rate, Governor Beshear is worried about keeping beds open in hospitals.
There is real cause for concern that hospitals can and maybe will be overrun again. We are looking at plans on how to augment them, and we'll certainly want to lean on both nursing programs and, if necessary, the National Guard once again coming to our aid.
Beshear reported significant outbreaks in some of the state's prisons. He also stood by his previous calls for more vaccination, booster shots, and wearing masks when it's appropriate.
Baptist South of Paducah gave us some updated numbers on what the hospital's seen amid this surge in cases. Right now, they're treating 44 patients. 13 of those are in critical care. 5 are on a ventilator. 11 patients have been vaccinated, but only 2 have been boosted, proving that waning immunity is a real concern. We also heard from a representative at Southern Illinois Healthcare today who says they're having a substantial increase in demand for testing. Due to that, they're insisting everyone who wants to get tested register online or by the phone for an appointment. They did more than 5,200 tests alone last week. The week before, the number was at just 2,000. The hospital system's also postponing all elective surgeries for the time being because of the surge. Right now, they're treating 63 people in 3 hospitals for COVID. 70% of those hospitalized are unvaccinated. For the second year in a row, low to moderate income families in Illinois will not have unpaid fines deducted from their state income tax refunds. It's a break that went into effect last year for those struggling financially during COVID. Comptroller Susanna Mendoza made the announcement today. Last year's suspension of fine collections applied to more than 50,000 families, and it saved them an estimated $18 million that would have otherwise been deducted. Keep in mind, the policy does not eliminate fines, but rather defers them. People still have the legal obligation to pay traffic and parking tickets. Cities can still hire private collectors to collect those unpaid.
SIU Carbondale is starting the spring semester as planned next Monday. However, the vast majority of classes will be virtual for the first week of the semester. In a release, the school says that's to make sure everyone has the opportunity to get tested. Of the test results already returned, 2.5% came back positive for employees and over 6% of students. Some classes will be face-to-face with protocols in place to keep everybody safe. For a full list of those classes meeting in person, visit this story at WPSDlocal6.com.
Your breaking news and weather authority with Todd Faulkner, Jennifer Horbelt, Weather Authority Noah Berggren, and Jeff Bidwell Sports. You're watching Local 6 at 6.
With temperatures expected to reach single digits, many are turning to area warming centers tonight for their families, where volunteers play a critical role in staffing. At 10, where you can go to stay warm or help out. Join us tonight at 10 on WPSD Local 6.
Last night, 5 inmates escaped.
FBI is bringing in their own specialist.
Detective. He's making a fool out of all of us. Unlike you, I don't hold grudges.
We tend to lose our motivation when we have something that's chronic, but you've got to do what you can early on as you can. After I'd exercise like that, I would have a lot of energy to do housework or whatever I needed. Well, I would recommend it highly to anyone at any degree of Parkinson.
Let us champion your recovery. Parkview Nursing and Rehabilitation. Open late, early, weekends, after double shifts, during lunch breaks, in between grocery shopping, side gigs, and picking up the kiddos. Drop off your docs, upload online, or file on the go. At Jackson Hewitt, we work around your schedule so you can get your biggest refund guaranteed.
The 37th Annual West Kentucky Boat and Outdoor Show is this weekend at the CFSB Center in Murray. See boats of all kinds, RVs, tackle, the women's section, and much more. Be sure to check out the great seminars and register for the Grab the Cash contest. Admission is free, so bring the whole family. The West Kentucky Boat and Outdoor Show, sponsored by ExploreKentuckyLake.com, the Murray Bank, and Rock 98.3 is this weekend at the CFSB Center in Murray. For more information, visit westkyboteshow.com.
Dr. Tony Miliano of the Audiology and Hearing Center was one of our guests on the last Family Health Experts with details on the latest technology and hearing aids. If you'd like to review this segment, it's online now at WPSDlocal6.com. Tonight's coverage of Murray State Racer men's basketball is brought to you by Happy Z Sit and Sleep.
Have a great 2022. McCracken County most certainly will. Thank you.
Economic development and the future, two big topics dominating the state of the city and county addresses today at Paducah's Power and Partnership Breakfast. We start with the county tonight and a bit of news from Judge Executive Craig Clymer.
McCracken County is a finalist for some major economic projects that could bring jobs and high pay to the area. We're going to get to that in a moment. Clymer focused on the big moves made over the last 3 years in the county. They include improving the county's financial stability, increasing sheriff's pay, and the joint county-city sports complex project. But economic development dominated much of his speech. Clymer discussed implementing the hotel tax and how that funding allowed for this: the purchase of removable sports floors at the convention center, the Ohio River Triple Rail mega site too, and that the county is a finalist for some large economic projects.
I can't go into the details on those. A lot of it's confidential, but we do stand in the top ratings for several large projects that are looking at us. I'm confident we're going to land one or more. A large number of jobs and extremely attractive wages.
And a similar message from Paducah's Mayor George Bray when delivering his State of the City address today.
That's right, Jennifer. He recapped the big investments over the last year, mainly in the outdoor sports complex and the new airport terminal, but also the South Side Initiative to clean up and help develop that area. Paducah's TIF district approval for development moving forward, the Riverport development project, and how the city and county would benefit from any progress on the Triple Rail site. Bray said in the new year, the city will work to expand the trail system citywide and develop a city app for smartphones for people to make service requests. In short, Bray said the new year will continue to be focused on ensuring the city's large development projects make progress.
The remark that I hear the most is Paducah punches above its weight class. Well, our new city manager, Darren Jordan, when he heard that a couple of times, He made the comment, he said, maybe it's time for Paducah to really step up to the next weight class, instead of just punching above our weight class. So I can tell this group that your commission, your city commission, is focused on helping Paducah move up to the next weight class.
To watch both Mayor Bray and Judge Executive Clymer's speeches in their entirety, go to WPSDLocal6.com. Look for this story.
All right, our first winter storm of the season is in the books. Now the attention turns to some brutal cold moving in by tomorrow morning. But it's not going to last. If you can believe it, there's a chance of thunder and lightning this weekend. We'll go through all the changes coming up next.
Ever get tired of hearing the same music over and over? There's a world of new artists out there you'd love to hear. Tomorrow morning at 6:40, how a music app introduces you to bands you've never heard and earns them money in the process. Join us tomorrow morning.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Nice to have you with us.
Let's tackle the new year together to kickstart your goals.
Getting your financial life in order.
It's time. We got to get organized.
And answer your questions that matter most.
Vicki Wynn has everything you need to know.
Every morning on Today.
All Kentucky driver licensing is moving from circuit clerk offices in every county
to regional offices.
And the new regional offices offer more licensing choices than ever before.
Get a driver's license valid for 4 years.
or 8 years.
Get a real ID
or a standard license.
Renew online or in person.
You can even visit any regional office you'd like. It's next level licensing.
Learn more at drive.ky.gov.
All right, ladies, when you go in that doctor's office, what are they going to say, Twinkle Toes?
I'll set you up for imaging.
I'll set you up for imaging. And what are you going to say?
No, I'm going to Lundberg.
Oh, come on.
No, I'm going to Lundberg.
Weak.
No, I'm going to Lundberg.
Again.
No, I'm going to Lundberg.
I'm going to Lundberg.
Air ducts are like the lungs of your home. The air they breathe is the air you and your family breathe. It doesn't take long for contaminants like dirt, dust, and pet dander to collect deep inside and then be recycled throughout your home. An air duct cleaning from Stanley Steamer removes that dirt from all the ducts of your home, leaving the air cleaner and healthier.
Call 1-800-STEAMER. Stanley Steamer gets your home cleaner.
When the need arises, Marshall County Hospital is here to help you and your loved ones. It's a hospital right in your area, with little to no time wasted in a waiting room, and more face-to-face time with a provider. A place where everyone gets the care they deserve. Marshall County Hospital is that and so much more. A hospital right in your backyard, where the comfort and care of patients is our main goal. Sky Tracker, brought to you by Oaks Law Firm, personal injury and family law professionals.
I did want to show you this one more time so I could point out to it real quick on the television here. This is what's called a stellar plate snowflake. It's really one of the two rarest that can form, and there's actually a whole field of science. If you're interested in weather or, our atmosphere, you could actually devote an entire career to this. It's one of the least understood parts of our field being meteorology, about how these things form and the crystal growth that we're trying to simulate in a lab. Essentially, you get a little piece of dust, or we call it a condensation nuclei, in the atmosphere, then the ice grows outward from it. But to see this so beautifully formed is pretty uncommon. It is awesome to see because it was so cold today. That's really the only reason why we have those wonderful snowflakes out there. Right now, the snow is done falling. Lots of great photos, though, came in today. People having fun, it was just the right amount of snow, just enough to have fun in, but not enough to really shut everything down for, several days. This from Fairdeal in Kentucky, over 6 inches of snow there. I think that's the jackpot across the region. Lauren James Ballard, like many kids out there today, enjoying their snow day. Jacob Woods, future meteorologist in our area, sent you this. Here he's studying in Mississippi State. Over 5 inches in northern Graves County, about 6 miles south of the McCracken line. That was pretty impressive, too. Very light and fluffy snow. Northwest Tennessee folks getting in on the action as well. This from Kenton, Tennessee. And we all know this feeling, trying to catch those snowflakes. And they were pretty big earlier, especially around 11 a.m. and noon today, as those dendrites, that's what we call them, were falling from the sky. While obviously it was a fun day for some of us, many of us were still volunteering and helping. I want to make sure I give a shout out to those people from everyone here at the station, not just in Mayfield, in all of the locations along the tornadoes, both in Kentucky and Tennessee, because, you know, the snow may have slightly delayed recovery, but they were out there today feeding people and helping, and they're going to be tomorrow. So thank you to all of you who were helping in today's not so ideal weather. Thankfully, the snow is done falling for tonight. There goes your storm. Actually going to be pretty impressive storm for the mid-Atlantic and the Northeast, but for us, it's cold tonight. Temperatures are falling fast. 19 in Paducah right now with a wind chill of 11. It's 17 now in Metropolis with a wind chill of 9 degrees. Ordinarily, you probably wouldn't think much of a 6-mile-an-hour wind in Paducah, but when it's 19 degrees, that 6-mile-per-hour wind is very noticeable, and it's going to be even more noticeable by later tonight. These are the minimum temperatures in the wind chills. -8 tonight in Princeton with a low on the thermometer of 3. 5 is our forecast low in Paducah with a wind chill of 4. 10 tonight, Union City. Minimum wind chill of 1 degree. In all locations of southern Illinois, especially where the wind might be a little stronger, we'll get down into the -5 or so range. And anything that was melted today or cleared is going to be refrozen into a solid block tomorrow morning. So please be careful. There is going to be travel impacts, especially early tomorrow morning still. Through tonight, the clouds clear. Now, something that happens really only in the coldest of the coldest nights of winter. You see these streaks of clouds here. One of them at 7 a.m. tomorrow coming off Kentucky Lake, another around the rivers. Any body of water tomorrow morning or the lake could actually form flurries themselves. That is pretty rare. It takes a super, super cold atmosphere because the difference from, you know, the lake temperature to single digits is pretty substantial. So don't be shocked if you see a few flurries out there early tomorrow morning if you live near a body of water. Sunny tomorrow, high of 25, 19 tomorrow night. For your weekend, Saturday up until about 4 o'clock is dry. Saturday night we'll have showers, some heavy, with a few rumbles of thunder with some elevated storms, not severe. Sunday will start with rain. We clear out Sunday afternoon, and then it will turn cold and clearing again early next week.
New at 6, a 25-year-old man from Illinois has died after a crash last night on Illinois Route 3 in Union County.
Illinois State Police say 2 vehicles were involved, including a tractor-trailer. It happened just south of Refuge Road and Ware, Illinois. Troopers say a man was driving southbound when he swerved into the oncoming northbound lane, hitting a semi-truck. The driver of the car that swerved was killed. The driver of the semi refused medical attention. The name of the man has not yet been released.
Well, the UT Martin women look to avoid dropping a second straight conference game as they travel to Tennessee State this afternoon. Highlights from that one coming up. But first, Murray State's Tevin Brown continues to march up the all-time scoring list for the Racers. How he's trying to avoid personal goals in favor of success for his team. You're watching WPSD Local 6-6.
In a recent clinical study, patients using Salonpas patch reported reductions in pain severity, using less or a lot less oral pain medicines, and improved quality of life. That's why we recommend Salonpas. It's good medicine.
New year, new sofa, new dining room, new bedroom. During Woodcrafters New Year sale, save up to 50% off, plus 12 months special financing at Woodcrafters Galleries.
At Flooring Now, we do flooring. We keep it simple, comfortable, and personable. Flooring Now has carpet, vinyl plank, and linoleum in stock. Plus, we have interior blinds and shutters. Look today, buy today, take home today. Or we have local installers. After folks have made the rounds, come experience the difference at Flooring Now. Go to our website and visit our Facebook page. Honestly, we've got your floors covered. Flooring Now, North Route 13 on 148 Heron.
Murray State is a school that has benefited me on so many levels. Personal attention from faculty, high-quality academics, scholarship opportunities, and countless campus organizations to make my college experience the best it can be. This is an exciting time to be a racer.
At Pizza Inn, we've always got a spot for you and your family. Plus enough hand-tossed pizzas for everyone to find a favorite. At our all-day buffet, you'll see honest hometown folks, warm slices, and even warmer smiles. And more than 40 of your favorite pizzas, pastas, salads, and desserts. For over 60 years, we've been serving up the classics and plenty of new surprises, too. Grab a seat and a slice at America's hometown pizza place.
The Local 6 News Ticker is brought to you by Integrity Roofing and Exteriors.
Over the years, the Murray State Racers have really been blessed with incredible talent that have been able to put on the Racer uniform. In the last decade, players like Isaiah Cannon, Cameron Payne, Jonathan Stark, and John Morant have come through the program, and without question, you can easily add Tevin Brown to that list of names. Brown has continued to cement his legacy in a Racer uniform throughout the first half of his junior season. Brown is currently leading the Racers 19 points per game and is leading the OVC in scoring. He continues to also march up the all-time scoring list at Murray State, currently sitting 11th. For Brown, being on that list of names was never really a thought coming into Murray.
I see it a lot. I don't really pay much attention to it, but it just shows the hard work that I try to put in and year out to be able to make myself better in order to be able to possibly play at the next level. Really, I never knew how many points I had until this year, and I never knew how many points other people scored, and it really wasn't on my mind. I was just trying to put my team in the best position to win.
Well, here's where Brown stands in the school's all-time scoring list. Brown with 1,590 points. He's 11th all-time, currently just 200 points shy of cracking the top 10. He's also put himself second on the school's all-time three-pointers made list, currently trailing by just a few behind Isaiah Cannon. He's 27 three-pointers away from breaking the OVC's all-time record. Women's college basketball this afternoon. UT Martin on the road at Tennessee State. Skyhawks came in with a 5-game winning streak over TSU. Skyhawks great start in this one, up 21-12. Shea Littleford knocks down the wing three. Martin up 12. They led by 9 at the break. Tennessee State would cut the lead down to 5 in the third. Gia Adams knocks down the three, part of an 11-0 run by the Tigers, eventually tied the game at 51. Midway through the fourth quarter, Skyhawks up by 1. Holly Forbes off the inbounds pass. She had 13. Martin up 4. 30 seconds left to play. The lead back down to 1. Skyhawks forced the missed shot, but the offensive rebound by Dominic Clater. The offensive putback, it goes. Tennessee State holds on to win this one, 66-65. Back with more news after the break.
The siege at the U.S. Capitol.
One of the most shocking days in American history.
1 year later, NBC News goes in-depth into extremism and its impact on the future of our country. The state of extremism, all this week.
I'm Tyne Morgan, host of U.S. Farm Report, inviting you to join me for the Soybean Promotion Day 2022, happening Tuesday, January 18th at Murray State University in the CFSB Center. Join me and our partners at Murray State's Hudson School of Agriculture and the Kentucky Soybean Promotion Board for a day of education, entertainment, and engagement. Admission is free, but reservations are required, and you can sign up today online. Soybean Promotion Day 2022 at Murray State University. I'll see you there.
December storms upended so many lives in our area, but now it's time to rebuild, and Chambers Roofing is here to help. For 79 years, the Chambers family has served homeowners and business owners to maintain and rebuild their roofs. That commitment is stronger now than ever, and that's why we're proud to offer 20-year Duralast guarantee and top-quality coating, plus lifetime warranties on shingles, seamless gutters, and guards. So whether your needs are big or small, Chambers Roofing is here for the long haul. Call Chambers Roofing today, and let's start rebuilding.
Anything Goes Trading Company. We are Western Kentucky's most unique place to shop. With lower than retail prices, an ever-expanding inventory, including farmhouse, retro, and even items for your Pinterest projects. And now we're excited to be teaming up with Fernleaf Real Estate. We purchase your estate contents,
And we can help you sell your home or purchase a new one.
where no deal is too tall
Or too small for us to handle.
Anything Goes Trading Company.
On the previous Home Experts, Dino and CPA and Sally Graham of the SBA were our guests, offering details on low-rate loans for small businesses who were affected by recent storms. If you'd like to review this segment, check it out online at WPSDLocal6.com.
I want to show you Saturday's forecast real quick. Clouds will move in. We could have a couple of sleet showers in the middle part of the day. Those are those specks of pink in Missouri and Illinois. Showers move in again, as I told you, really after about 4 p.m. in the Paducah area. Then look what happens Saturday night. I should remind you at this time the temperatures will be in the 30s. So this will be Probably about as miserable of a rain as you can get, with it like 36 degrees in moderate to heavy rain. That's Saturday night. It'll be too warm for snow or sleet and too cold for any strong storms, so we'll take it. This is with another front, and that'll come through as we head into early Sunday morning.
Sounds great. Thanks, Noah.
It's almost Friday.
There you go.
Yeah.
Thanks.
We'll see you at 10.